Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the last session of the day. You've almost made it. We are almost at the after party. Thank you for coming along to talk. My name is Nick Fortescue. I'm a software engineer on Google Play, and this is my colleague.
Hi, I'm Johannes. I'm a UX designer working with Nick on Google Play.
So I've been working on Google Play since it was Android Market, so quite a while now. And we're here to talk to you about why quality matters in the app. Now, app quality is really important for us on Google Play. We want every Android user, when they open an app installed from Play, to open an amazing, beautiful, wonderful app. But of course, we don't write the apps. You guys do. And so we need you to help us. So my aim today, and Johannes' aim today, is to persuade you of how important quality is, not just for all those billions of Android users out there, but also for you as a business. So we're going to talk about in detail. I'm going to talk about why the quality matters. Johannes is going to talk about what you can do to improve the technical excellence of the app and how we can help you. And then we'll just give you some more beyond technical excellence. So first, why is quality important? Well, with Google, we're going to give you some hard numbers in this. So you've seen this slide before from Dan Galpin in the keynote. In Google Play in London, we took some apps and we measured their quality by a number of factors that Johannes will tell you about later. And we split them into categories. So we had some excellent apps and some average apps and then some bad apps. And we just looked at those categories. And when we went from an average app to a good app, those apps were earning 6 times as much income. Now, if you imagine how your company would be doing if it had 6 times as much income from your app, it would be a big improvement. And similarly, it got 7 times as much retention. That means users came back over and over again far more for higher quality apps than low quality apps. So hopefully I've grabbed you that this is important. But it's not just me, it's also our partners who are describing this. So here's one from Zalando, one of the top fashion houses in Europe. And they decided to focus on quality. They sat down and thought, right, we're not just going to add new features for a little bit, we're just going to focus on reliability and we're going to focus on performance. They got their startup time 30% faster to start, and they also reduced crashes by 90%. And that gave them real money. But it's interesting, you say 6% monthly install increase. That doesn't sound too much. You've got to remember, this install increase isn't coming from the users who are already using the app. They got that install increase by improving the app itself, which means better ratings were happening, more people were recommending it to their friends, and that also gave a 15% increase in revenue, in lifetime value of each user. And that is real money for the bottom line. So spending that time going, let's focus on performance and quality for a bit, rather than just adding new feature after new feature, gives real benefit. And this pays off. We looked across the ecosystem, and apps with a high crash rate had 30% more uninstalls on the very first day than apps with a low crash rate. Unsurprising, you might think, but that's just the first day. That carries on down the tail of the apps as time goes on. And you might know, hopefully you look at your app reviews, you hopefully know that if you look at the 1-star reviews, we ran some text analysis on it, and we found that 50% of those 1-star reviews mentioned crashes, stability, bugs, all this sort of thing. Whereas the 5-star reviews, they're mentioning over half the time, 60% of the time, they're mentioning speed, they're mentioning smooth design, they're mentioning usability. So you really want that quality increase happening. So Boozoo, I don't know how many of you used the language app. I've used it. It's a really great language app. And it was a great review score. They were getting 4.1 stars on the Play Store. I know lots of developers would kill for a 4.1 star rating. But they decided to focus on performance improvement, and they got it from 4.1 stars all the way up to 4.5 stars. Now, those of you who are app developers in Play will know how hard getting from 4.1 to 4.5 stars is. So maybe consider focusing on performance. The other thing is, we said it's our top priority to have these healthy, excellent apps in the ecosystems. And we're going to do that to help users find the best apps. So for example, our ranking algorithms in the Play Store, they look at these signals of, is an app smooth? Is it performant? Does it crash? To decide how to rank the app. We do collections promoting good apps. We give awards, and these awards drive a lot of organic traffic. If you want your app featured, if you want all the publicity that comes from a Google Play Award, you need to meet these performance metrics. And then we'll all have great apps in the Android ecosystem. So you might be wondering, well, how do you do that? Is it some big secret? Well, no, Johannes is going to tell you the measures we use to look at app quality. And you can see some apps which do really well in this already. If you search for Android Excellence Awards, you will find it. We released it in I/O in April, and we've updated it twice. And it was last updated in October. We're planning on updating it quarterly. And you can see some apps in that that are already excellent. So maybe go and have a look at that on your phone. Try some of these apps, and you'll see what a really smooth, really excellent usability experience is. It's engaging, it's fast, it's got great design. So Johannes, tell the developers how they can make their app great.
Great, thanks a lot. All right, so we've heard a lot about app quality and why it actually matters. Let's now take a look at how you can actually achieve technical excellence with the tools that we provide in the Play Console. We first take a look at Android Vitals, and this a program supported by Google that really helps you understand and improve the app quality of your apps and games. And essentially, it gives you signals around the app health of your data, which is directly connected to the performance of your app. So at Google I/O earlier this year, we launched the Android Vitals in the Play Console. And this tool allows you to see aggregated performance data of your app. And also this data is automatically collected by millions of devices, which means that it's a huge source for data. And the good thing is, it all comes for free, so there's no need to add another SDK. You can go into the Play Console, look at the Vitals right now, and you will see data. Another cool thing is that this data isn't for engineers only anymore, but everybody in the company can now look at the data, understand the data, analyze the data, and set KPIs around it. For example, if you would like to reduce the crash rate, you set an KPI that you can track afterwards. So it's measurably. So let's take a look how it works. There are three main pillars for it. First of all, you have the metrics. We then have the tools, and afterwards the rewards. So let's go through it. First of all, the metrics is there where we provide bad behaviors. And bad behaviors are essentially patterns or events that have a direct impact, a direct negative impact on the user experience, which is then, for example, if your app is very crashy or if it consumes lots of battery. We provide you a set of tools to help you improve the quality of your app. And we do this throughout the entire life cycle of your app. For example, before release, you use the pre-launch report in order to track crashes and security vulnerabilities even before you launch. Then at release, you can see the release dashboard and measure the effectiveness of your current release. And after release, you see the Android Vitals to help you understand the technical performance from the field. And then last but not least, we have the rewards. Just as Nick mentioned, this is there to really help you and to really celebrate those good behaviors that we would like to see in the, as Play. All right, so we currently report on three major performance areas in the Android Vitals, which is stability, battery, and rendering. And for each of those, we generate bad behaviors. So you see those metrics. For stability, we look at the ANR rate and the crash rate. For battery, we report if your app experiences stuck wake locks or excessive wake-ups. And for rendering, we report on slow rendering or frozen frames. So we generate those bad behaviors around these metrics. And if something is wrong with your app, we directly notify you. So you're aware of it, and you can fix them. All right, so since I/O, we have a massive momentum. And more than 65% of the top 1,000 apps in Play have adopted this feature and made use of it. We work closely with 50 partners, and in average, they managed to release the crash rate from a 3.5 to a 1.7, which is huge. So just to give you a sense for the scale, over the same time, these partner apps were installed more than 1.5 billion times, which results that millions of users worldwide have a measurably better experience and therefore also leave a better rating. All right, so for many partners, the Android Vitals is now an active part of their planning, just like the Weather Channel, for example. And by focusing on app quality, they observe a direct impact on the customer satisfaction. Again, all this results in a better and higher rating of your app. All right, so inspired by this momentum, we are continuing to scale this program further and further, and we are really investing in it to make it even more meaningful. We have three main things to announce, which is we have an expanded device coverage. We also report on 5 new bad behaviors, so more metrics for you guys. And we overall improved the user experience. And yeah, it will help you really root cause and analyze the issues that you experience, if you experience some. All right, so in order to expand the device coverage, we worked with several OEMs to surface the performance metrics and more data for you guys. So initially, we reported on Nexus devices and Pixel devices. And now, after talking to many, many more OEMs, we now have a spectrum across high-end flagships to mid-range bestsellers and low-end devices. So all this will give you a great overview about the entire ecosystem of Play. By doing this, we increased the amount of user sessions tracked by the program by 25 times. More data for you. All right, so we added 2 more metrics for the stability, which is the multi-ANR rate and the multi-crash rate. And especially those repeating crash rates really cause big user frustration, which then eventually leads to a higher uninstall rate and a negative rating, because the app seems hopelessly broken. So by looking at this data, you can now track those issues early and yeah, fix them right away to prevent user churn. For battery, we now introduce 3 new metrics, which is the excessive Wi-Fi scans in the background, the excessive network usage in the background, and the stuck background wake logs. And especially those excessive background activities really consume unnecessary battery from you users, and all this results in frustration of the user. And then we significantly revamped the Play Console user experience for the Android Vitals to help you understand and improve the app quality. With this new overview page, we monitor all the different metrics that we provide you to judge your app quality. And also straight at the top of the page, we now highlight any bad behavior that was triggered in your app for any APK, any active APK. So if you upload it to alpha, to beta, or if it's in production, we give you those signals right away. And you can automatically or immediately focus on the most important actions. Also, something that we now introduce is that you can track the performance of each metrics over time after you drill down into the details. And you can see it in comparison to the bad behavior threshold. So you can see if you are crossing that line, you will then get the notification. So essentially, you can measure the effectiveness of the actions taken over time. We also help you to root cause the origin of these bad behaviors by allowing you to filter the data, slice the data to see different options. For example, if you slice the data by APK version, by device, by OS version, or over time, you can really start to see where the root cause of that issue is. And last but not least, we do provide you benchmarks now, so to help you establish a reference point and also to give you some sense how the overall performance of the entire ecosystem is. And then, wherever possible, we give you guidance on how to resolve an issue. So in this case, when debugging an ANR, you receive guidance on actually what caused the application to freeze. And we identify several different cases, for example, deadlocks, disk IOs, network IOs, and many more. So go check it out. It's live. You can use it right away. So thanks to all this, partners are using the Android Vitals in the Play console more and more, and they are continuing to invest in the app quality, and so do we. So we really love to hear from you guys how you're using it, and also how we can improve this product. What was useful for you? What can we do better? We're over there in the sandbox on the other side. Come and visit us, share your thoughts, and help us make a better product. Great. Some last announcement for the pre-launch report. So just to give you a quick summary, the pre-launch report is a Play solution for automated for the automated testing of your app, and all that happens before production release. So it automatically crawls your APK on physical devices, and it looks for crashes, and it looks for security vulnerabilities. And it also generates a whole bunch of screenshots that are then across multiple form factors and also multiple languages. And yeah, we are continuing to improve that. So first of all, there's no need to opt into the service anymore. Every APK that you upload to alpha or beta gets automatically tested and is ready to review. Then we also rewrote the entire robocrawler, so it now reaches even deeper into the app and discovers more crashes, which would otherwise happen for real users on production. And last but not least, we do have performance data in the pre-launch report, and it now reports on CPU, on memory, on network, and on rendering. And the cool thing is that it's you can see this data in direct relation to a video that was recorded throughout the crawl, so you can see directly where the issue occurred, and you can go and fix it. All right, so this was a brief overview about the technical experience. Now back to Nick for product excellence.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Johannes. So anyone can write an app that doesn't crash, right? You just have a plain black screen, and it does nothing, and you get no crashes. So you need this foundation of technical excellence, but you also need a great product. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about. But I'm not going to be able to say that much here. So I do encourage you. There's loads of amazing design sessions going on behind me, or if you're watching online, do check out the videos afterwards of some of the mobile design sessions. But the big thing you want is to fulfill the user's needs in an excellent way. And I'm going to talk a few ways about doing that. They want consistency, they want a memorable experience, but they also want a solution which matches their needs. So how are you going to write features that users love? Well, you want the latest Android features, make it really easy for you to give this to users. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of the tools that we give you to get great design into your app. So first is material design. Now, if you're following Google, you've seen this already, but it might be new to you. We've launched this a couple of years ago, but it's been getting so much praise from not just the Android community, but just from independent designers around the world and developers around the world. And Google has so many materials, but also third-party sites are offering loads of tutorials to help you understand not just the code, but all the concepts and the vision behind this. Because you've got to remember, just sticking in some material design components doesn't make your app a material app. What makes it a material app is having these smooth, tangible surface transitions with meaningful motion. Do read the docs, they're so good, and explain what it's all about. The other thing you can do is target the latest SDK. Now, I know a lot of developers might say, but my users are all on older phones. I want maximum compatibility. Why would I target the latest SDK? Well, this doesn't mean you eliminate all those old phones, but by changing your target SDK in your build, you can give those users who are on new phones the best, most modern, most up-to-date experience. And you've got to remember, those users who are on new phones, and remember, Christmas is coming up, there's an awful lot of phones going to be sold in the next few months with new versions of Android, and they will have the best experience, and they will tell all their friends about it and get them installing your app. And we don't just want you, of course there's other platforms in the world besides Android, and the more of them you support, the better it is for your app quality. So do features which help users on whatever platform they're on. Use things like sign in with Google. This lets users have one sign-in, whatever device they're on, and it just makes their life simpler. Another thing you can do for a really excellent, memorable experience is do all the platforms. Now, Android isn't just phones. Have you ever paused, stop for a minute and think, what other platforms could my app support? Because we're going all the way from Android Wear, phones, tablets, through to VR, TV, even in cars nowadays, as you saw in the keynote. Could your app be there? Now, not every platform is right for every app, of course, but if your fitness app, maybe you could be on a watch, so the user doesn't have to carry their phone with them. Maybe your education or entertainment, would that work well on a TV, or maybe in VR? What if you're a travel app or a guidance app? Could that work really well in a user's car? Or how about a game? Would that work well on a TV? Think about your apps and think, would these work on the other platforms? Because the users with these platforms, it's going to give them a magical time, and they're going to tell other users about your apps. And this sort of quality is the thing we really want in Play, and it will help you in the Play Store. Now, monetization is also really important because, to be honest, without money coming in, it's very hard for you to fund the development on your amazing app. Hopefully, you've looked at in-app products, but also, how many of you considered using subscriptions? So I'm sure all of you have heard of Pandora. Now, they had their own subscription model. When they switched to using subscriptions in Google Play, their revenue went up 397%. That's almost 5 times as much money coming into their company from switching to subscriptions in Google Play. New York Times, up 125%. Evernote reduced the churn. That's users, when their subscription expired, leaving. By using Google Play subscriptions, they reduced it 40%. This is all going to get you extra money for your company and fund these excellent apps. Now, I've been talking to a lot of you in the sandbox, and a lot of you have never tried the A/B experiments in the Play listing. Now, in the Play console, you can do things like try which icon works better for installs. This one, this one. Let's try on 1% of traffic and do a proper experiment to see what works better. And people have had amazing results. People have used alpha beta channels to get feedback from their really keen users. And don't forget the tools to respond to users' comments. I had a developer in the sandbox this morning come up to me and saying, users often leave comments that, they just don't really make any sense. How do I respond to them? And by going into the Play console and saying, thanks for that, I can help you, giving your email address, users will see that, and they'll go, this developer cares about their users, and you will get more installs from it. So do your best to respond be friendly and helpful to every comment, and it will do wonders to not only your star rating, but also it will give you loads of ideas for improving app quality. So just one example, don't just believe me. Wallapop, they did some experiments. So they did a few things. They tried their short description and changed it. Then they did another experiment with different screenshots. And then they even did things like, what order should we put the screenshots on in their listing? And by doing a few experiments like this, one after the other, they got 17% improvement. And they are no way the highest in the Play console. We've seen developers get 30% conversion installs. So this is people who came to their app listing in Play and get 30% more installs by doing these experiments. It doesn't take very long. You should definitely try it. But the real key to this is you need a clear hypothesis. I think this icon will work better. I think encouraging this type of user will work better. And you need some big design variations. Don't just make, I'll go from light blue to dark blue. Make some really bold designs. Because remember, you can limit the traffic change it goes to. So it only goes to 1% of users, and you can get some really amazing results. So let me recap. Your app quality affects your business success. This is going to make real difference to the money you have coming in, to the number of users you have installing, to the users coming back to your app again and again and recommending it to your friends. We measure quality using the same signals you get in Android Vitals. We're not leaving you in the dark. So if you care about your recommendations in Play and you care about your users, you should be going to Android Vitals and fixing the bad behaviors, the crashes, the ANRs you see there. So every user in Android on every app has an amazing thing. And it's not just technical excellence. Going and adopting the latest phones and making your app have a beautiful design with things that really meets the user's needs can really help you drive more traffic to your app. So thank you so much for your time. Do come and find us. We'll be in the sandbox all day tomorrow, and we'll be at the launch party in a minute. We look forward to launching to you. We'll answer any questions you have about Google Play Console, and look forward to seeing you later. But enjoy the party. Thank you very much.